Hi, Mary Amato here. The poetry post this time is written by three fourth graders. And get this, even their names are poetic. Listen, Emily, Elizabeth, and Evelyn. So, your poetry trivia question is: what is the literary device that relies on the repetition of beginning sounds? If you said alliteration, you are correct. The poem that they wrote is called Pandemic. I'm going to read it and give you my comments. Pandemic by Emily, Elizabeth, and Evelyn. Coronavirus, coronavirus, you seem so ghastly. But on the other hand, you're not all nasty. In parks and stores, we see blue masks. Luckily, doctors and nurses are trained for their tasks. Quarantined, we are stuck in our homes, but this gives us time to read funny poems. Scarcity of toilet paper in the stores and online, yet in our yards we have abundant sunshine. We ride our bikes but cannot dismount. When we feel sad and down, our families count. It's hard to play when we're 6 feet away. At least we can visit on Zoom some days. It seems you spread so quickly. How unfair. Thankfully, people show love everywhere. Love the poem. First of all, let's talk about the subject. Poems can be about anything, and you can write a poem as a way of expressing a feeling or exploring a feeling. A poem can be about what's actually happening in your life. I love the fact that these three friends took on this topic and took it on with both humor and heart. Next, they definitely showed their affection for rhyme. Some really surprising couplets: mask and tasks, dismount and count. By the way, a couplet is an unfamiliar term. It's related to the word couple, and it just means two lines. So I'm going to hold up the poem. You can see how the girls wrote it in two lines with a space between each couplet. They also snuck in what is called internal rhyme in one line. Couplets usually have end rhymes, and theirs does too for the most part. That means the last word in each line rhymes. But they also did one line that has an internal rhyme. I'm going to read it. I'll read the whole couplet. It's hard to play when we're 6 feet away. At least we can visit on Zoom some days. So what you hear, instead of just the two rhymes of away and days, you also hear this third rhyme. It's hard to play when we're 6 feet away. At least we can visit on Zoom some days. I love the rhythm of that. That little sneaky internal rhyme gives it an extra oomph. It's just a terrific couplet. Internal rhymes are sort of like frosting on the cake. And so if you can sneak one in, it's really fun. I also loved that they talked directly to the virus. So they really personified the virus and were speaking directly to it. And that's a terrific literary technique as well. So these girls packed a lot into one very timely poem. Big congratulations to Emily, Elizabeth, and Evelyn for writing such a great poem. And thanks so much to them for sending it, for sharing it. Poems are gifts. And when you share them, you lift up other people. Sharing poetry is one way of showing love. That's something to really celebrate anytime, but especially in these times. For your next challenge, you can try writing a poem to something that you are personifying. So you could write a poem to a an emotion. You could write a poem to an object. You could write a poem to anything, an animal, to a pencil. You know, just imagine that you're talking to something that normally would not talk back, and see what comes out. Happy writing. Bye.